Oh, liqueur.
Yeah, with the EUR.
Liqueur.
That originated in Serrano, depending on the brand, and it may be made from apricots.
Ooh, apricots.
I do like me some apricots. This is the timing. Made for apricot kernels.
Kernels?
Which give the liquor a distinctly bitter almond flavor.
Oh, almonds.
And then the sour part just makes it sweet, I guess.
I just like saying liqueur.
Liqueur.
What's up, you guys?
Hey, everybody. No, sometimes some words are like that. Anyway, it's just like, you just like the way it falls off the tongue, you know?
I can't make it really fall off my tongue. I have to kind of hawk it out.
Anyway, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Triple F Queen Bola.
No tagline with here, mangling French.
And we are BlerdTalk with Bola and Whitney. How you doing, guys? How you doing? What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's
give
up?
us a shout out to all the listeners. You rock. You hit us up, you guys. We want to know what you guys think and hear, just talk to us online.
Tell me something good.
And, Whitney always have a song for every occasion. Every occasion. Anyway, today's episode is about the new blockbuster superhero film that is not Marvel, but it is there. It's Black Adam. Dang,
wow.
So much shade.
I know.
So you probably know how I feel already, but it's Black Adam. I love The Rock. I do enjoy The Rock. I don't watch everything he's in because I'm not always big on action films, but I like action films with substance. So when it's just like pure action, sometimes I'm like, you know what I mean? Like the big film that came out recently during the summer on what was that movie with Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans and Anna de Armas, and I believe our boy from Bridgerton was in it. It was I think it was not Red Notice. That was The Rock's movie. That was actually good.
No, I haven't seen it.
Red Notice with him and Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds. That was good.
Okay.
I enjoyed that, actually.
I'm going to check that out.
But the film, it was on Netflix. Oh, Lord. I'm baffling the name.
It's not like The Gray Man, is it?
That's it. Thank you.
My
The
mom was
Gray
telling
Man.
me that was a good movie. I haven't watched it yet.
I mean, it was good, but it was just like action for action's sake, So it's like not something I would watch again, but it wasn't bad. Like
that
it wasn't
reminds me of like...
It wasn't like Expendables, which was god-awful. That was pure action for action's sake. No story. They're like, we don't care about story. We're just going to blow shit up and fight. And that's what we're going to do. And that I could not stand.
Speaking of movies, it's hard to say this is action for action's sake, but it certainly had like action aspects. The End of the Road with Queen Latifah and Ludacris.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, my mom started watching it and she was like, yeah, you should watch it. She didn't finish it. So I finished it and she was like, oh, you did? So she was like, how was it? I was like,
you know what? When you have to say that for the film, you just have to shock it and be like, it wasn't the best.
It was fine.
Yes, when you have that word.
It had entertainment value. It was a Netflix movie that I didn't need to see again.
Exactly. I don't blame you. So no. Oh, is that the one where she was like the matriarch of the family, and then if somebody was coming in trying to that's one of her new films, right?
Yeah, trying to kidnapped her son. They're on a road trip, and
I wasn't.
It's not my usual fare of movie, but my mom was like, "Oh, I started watching it. Maybe you should take a look." I was like, "Okay, I'll take a look." And
is it a series?
No, it's a movie.
How she didn't finish it and told you to watch it? I mean, I'm sorry. If you didn't finish the film and then you told me to watch it, I'm like, nah, man. Don't tell me that.
Sometimes my mom will start watching stuff late at night, so she'll fall asleep, so she doesn't finish it for that reason. Or, she's got to pick up Peanut or Eli or something, or she's doing something else with her day. She's not like a hardcore watcher like I am. So she'll not finish it. And I'll be like, oh yeah, Mom, Wedding Season was a good movie. And she's like, what? And I'm like, that movie you started watching at my house?
And then she didn't finish it. That's hilarious to me.
Oh, speaking of Netflix movies that are just me and Bola, you guys were talking about this after Black Adam, I think. I watched...
Are we blurting out now?
I can't call this a blurred out.
Okay.
I think
Honorable
this is more
mention?
No, not even that.
No,
more
damn.
panning films where it's just fine.
like Hocus Pocus. Our previous episode for Halloween. I feel bad because it's really not a great Halloween movie either. But anyway,
it's an acceptable Halloween movie for Bola to participate in the review.
It's acceptable for me to watch, but it wasn't a good one.
Yeah, but Loving the Villa, it's just like, I start watching some movies now and I'm like,
the trailers pulls you in, right? The preview, the little...
It's like one of those things where it's probably not going to be like awesome, like all those Prince movies that they make on Netflix, like the love stories with like, oh, she falls in love with a prince, or oh, it's a princess switch, and it's like, this is a very played out concept, but they still making money. But like Loving the Villa, like at one point they're like having a freaking food fight and like throw stuff. I'm like, this is like an Airbnb. This is not okay. Y'all got like pasta on the wall. Y'all been throwing something through the window. At no point in the movie did I see somebody repairing that window.
Right.
I'm like, y'all are cray cray, and I would kick you out of my villa, and you could not come back. Like, y'all, this is unacceptable.
Thank God it's Movie World, and they have crews to do all that.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, this is taking me out of the movie because I'm like, y'all trifling.
I know, right? I know. Don't you hate like I don't know? Does anybody else watch the films where they like? You get real with the situation and what's going on, and you just really think about like, actually in real life this would not go this way, right? You just start analyzing the film in like real life, and I'm like, yeah, it is fiction. You're supposed to suspend with your, suspend some belief, but sometimes I just be analyzing, and be like, would they really be doing that? Like, case in point, with Hocus Pocus 2. Now I know that the black guy Sam Richardson was a diversity hire. And you were like, yes, more roles for black folks. Yes, black folks can be in these kind of films. Not the problem. But here's where you need to suspend with disbelief and be like, let's be real. Ain't no black person going to be doing what Sam Richardson was doing in the film. There is no way in heck no black man was going to be like, I'm just going to stick around and resurrect these white witches for something. No, it's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's like, I love it. It's a fiction. Yeah. I'm all down for all sorts, but I'm saying right now, the plausibility level is low. Because I listened to a review from, it's Ron.
Oh, yeah.
From leaving the cinema. Well, he was leaving the couch.
Wait, leaving the theater, I think.
Leaving the theater, right? And he was on the couch for this one because it's a streaming one. So he calls it like on the couch. But he watched Hocus Pocus 2. He never watched 1. So yeah, he never watched 1. So I think the nostalgia part is lost on him. He reviewed 1, but he thought 2 was better than 1. And I was like, no.
Oh no. But
again, he watched them together,
and
he said the same thing. Yes, we have problems.
And I don't think we could solve them.
Exactly. So I was like, nah, he don't get it. Like, nah. And I'm like, I watched it again, my 30-year-old self, as opposed to my whatever age I was when that film came out. I was like, I watched it again as an adult, like now, and I still was like, this movie slaps. Like, this is, you can rock with this.
Still holds up.
2 sucks. Like, really bad.
I'm sorry,
like,
y'all.
He thought 2 was better, but I was like, no.
Why?
I don't know. But the thing that I'm going to agree with on him, with him on, is that he was like, the same comment I had about this black dude in the movie doing this thing, being the catalyst for all this nonsense. He was like, as a black man, this is not going to happen. Because he's a black man. I'm not a black man. I'm a black man. But he was like, yeah, this is like, ain't no way in hell this is going to happen. It was so funny. Because I was like, that was my thought too. I was like, ain't no black man that's going to be like, because I was a child.
Except for it's more like, ain't no black body.
Exactly.
Because it's like, we have got a highly evolved sense of survival.
Exactly.
Especially when it comes to stuff that's like, like hooty booty, and we're like, nah.
Like, nah, I need to go.
Nah,
we gonna be bouncing. That's what it is.
I won't even go up in the like bizarre place because I'm like, this stuff look haunted. I'm
even
not brushing.
The kid version of you is going to look at that because it was like he saw them as a kid. Or I don't even know. It's like, was he one of the bewitched children? I don't know. He saw them as a kid and was like, oh my god, amazing. I was like, no. That's not going to happen. He's going to be like, there's some witches. Oh, I need to bounce. That's it. That's black people on a general scale. So, nah, man. I just was like, I can't. So, I feel you, Whitney. Like, I have the same comment to add about Black Adam. I will save it for when we start talking about it. But that same thing where it's like, I'm looking at the devastation that's happening, and I'm just like...
This is
what's
not
happening
okay.
here.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm thinking about. But we'll talk about it when we get into Black Adam. I be thinking about
stuff like this. That I'm like, y'all some hypocrites.
There was a lot of hypocrisy in this film. Yes. But let's get into the blurred out section. Unless you got any other topics, honorable mentions, anything? Are we just gonna blur it out?
No, those weren't even honorable mentions. Those were like
my issues with this.
This is like the trash pile.
Trash pile.
I mean, not complete trash.
In the dumpster fire files.
All right, go. All right, hit it.
Okay, blurred out. Blurred out. Blurred out. Blurred out. All right. Today's blurred out brought to you by... I know I'm joking. We don't have sponsors, but if you want to hit us up, hey. Anyway.
Hey, let's pause for a sponsor spot and go. You never know, because that'll make it easier. That dude at BlerdCon did have a point. He was like, this would make it a lot easier to put it in there, because right now we flow with our conversation, so trying to find a good spot would be...
Enter it in ourselves. Insert here. Okay, so I was just, because after our Resonate Pod conference we went to, I just was like, okay, I want to actually start listening to some of these podcasts, because I got a lot of interest. His is one of them, because I like to know what other people think about the films I've watched. And I remember I got on him about because he had a different take on Woman King, and I thought him and Nicole were just off. Like, they liked it, but I just thought they were off. And they do a rating system on 5 stars, 5 being the best, so that's kind of harder to me. I prefer our 10 glasses scale with the monocle contact lens in the middle. Like, I prefer ours because you can really gauge it out of 10. Because I was like, out of 5, damn, it sounds so low.
Yeah, but I feel like 5 is better for like product reviews than for like movies. I think you have a little bit more room for people to see like, okay, is it decent? Maybe it's just because it's harder to divide for me, like a 5.
Because people are saying sometimes like 2.99, and I'm like, what? 3.52, and I'm like, what?
I'm like, is that good?
Thank you. I'm like, and I hear 3, I'm like, this doesn't sound good. And they say 2, and I'm like, well, that's on the low end. And I'm like, 5 stars, I don't know. But then I guess that's because that's the old film rating. People used to give films 5 stars, 4 stars. I don't know. Back in the day.
Yeah, you're right. I
mean, everyone now is just looking at everyone's Rotten Tomato score, you know? Which don't give a damn. I don't give a damn, by the way. I don't give a damn about Rotten Tomatoes, okay?
Yeah, I don't really care about anybody's, like, real... Well, I can't say anybody's, like, you know, word of mouth from, like, friends and stuff like that, friends and family. I feel like people might pay... Well, me... I'm the type of person who will pay more attention to that if the person has like a similar taste to me. But just like, I rarely agree with a critic or like audience when they give it a low score.
It depends on what it was.
It depends, but really rarely does. Like the stuff that they give like low or middling scores. Well, I should say middling scores too. Most of the time I watch it, I'm like, I liked it.
So it's honestly, you gotta take those things with a grain of salt. It's good to like try and gauge, like, okay, that's the thing. Or like, I think sometimes I'm like, I only like them when they're like really great. About like Woman King, I was like, you know, that score is high. So it's like, yeah, I agree with you. Black Panther, I agree with you. Oh, but you rated WandaVision lower? Nah, I'm done. No. So stuff like that, I'm like, I only go with Rotten Tomatoes if I agree with the score. If not, I'm like, screw that thing. You know what I mean?
You only prefer things in an echo chamber.
But I like to listen to people's opinions, and I was listening to his, and they just had some critiques of the Woman King that I was like, y'all are completely off, and I was like, no. So I was just like, you know what? But I am trying to listen to some of those podcasts and things. So I'm going to add some more. But I added his podcast, Leaving the Theater. And he has some really good takes. So I was actually listening to some more takes about this film we're about to talk about. I'll bring that up later. But
I'll have to listen to his episode on that.
Yeah.
I listened to his, what's the Maria one?
Maria? Who's Maria?
The Romeo and Juliet-esque one that Steven...
The movie or the show?
Steven Spielberg did like in 2019.
Oh, the West Side Story.
West Side Story. Because remember the host of Resonate was talking about how much he liked that episode.
Was it funny?
I enjoyed his take. Like, I really enjoyed his take. It was like
Did you watch
December 2019. No, I haven't. But it was like December 2019, so I had to scroll for a while to find it. But because he specifically mentioned that one, that's the one I listened to. And it was
funny.
I enjoyed his take on it.
I'm gonna have to listen to that.
Whatever his name was, the host of
Chioke.
Chioke. He was right. It was funny.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
honestly, it. I'm I'm not saying nothing big wrong. Big wrong. I'm not against you. I enjoy your takes, honestly. I just don't always agree with them. But so just to be clear, it's all love, ain't no hate, ain't no debate. Because he came at me when I reviewed him, and I told him, I was like, you and Nick are off, and he was like, I'm not interested in the debate, and I was like, whoa, slow your rolls. I'm not trying to be negative.
I think
I'm
it
not
was
trying to be a
more
troll
because of where you put it.
I put it
Which
on
post?
Instagram.
I think it was because of which post, though.
I put it on Instagram, and I just told him that I thought they were way off on their...
Yeah, but it was a comment under a post. Does he do, like, Instagram releases for, like, each episode?
No, I don't know.
Because I think that was probably what it was, that, like, his excitement about being in Resonate and just kind of which comment, like, which post it was under.
I don't know. He replied me. It was definitely on Instagram, but he replied me.
Oh, no, I saw. That's what I was saying. I think that's where it came from.
I don't know, but I was just trying to make sure that he knows that it's all love. I'm not trying to be a troll or debate you. I just had to let you know. I was like, oh, you were wrong, sir. Let me just say I disagree. But I think they were wrong.
A debate is nice sometimes, though.
It is, but he wasn't interested, so I would have loved that, but it's okay. But shout out to William Mapp, because we do need to have a debate with him still about why Wonder Woman's awesome and Loki was trash. But I'm not interested in Loki. Anyway, so to my blerd outs, the main thing I'm blurting out about is my fantasy series are over. What am I gonna watch? Okay, anyway. So, House of the Dragon. Well, Lord of the Rings of Power. Excuse me, Rings of Power finished on last Friday. So I was like, oh, sad about that. And then House of the Dragon finished this past Sunday, and I'm just like, I love both of these series. Like, and I'm so invested in these. Like, I literally seek out my guy, Emergency
Awesome.
Yeah. To listen to his take to find out more things. House of the Dragon I find absolutely fascinating.
It is.
I enjoy the story so much. Like, the Targaryens are way more interesting. They're like the Kardashians of the Game of Thrones world. Without the whole fakeness, you know what I mean? They're just fascinating. I want to know all about the Targaryens in Westeros. Like,
I think it works better just because it's so much tighter. Mm-hmm. I read wrote an article about how much like tighter.
Intimate.
Yeah, and I think it works even better because of that. Because I'm like,
people
just
want that
like
fast pace, but I think the pacing they have,
I'm
slowing
like, this
it down,
is like perfect.
Taking an inner look, yeah. Because some of the decisions on the show that you have, and spoilers, sorry guys. If you haven't watched Game of Thrones, please move. If you haven't watched House of the Dragon, please just close your ears for a second. But so, have you seen the episode?
Yes, me and my mom watched it yesterday.
So for me, I knew that Aemon, because I already knew about this from just researching the Targaryens and listening to stuff. So I kind of ruined the series for me. But it's not ruined because I'm still going to watch it. So I'm not going to talk about the very end. But I already knew that there was going to be an issue with Aemon and Lucerys, because they set it up for you. They do set it up. But I already knew that Aemon was going to kill Lucerys. I already knew that. But I was just like, I didn't know when they were going to drop it. But for some reason, that episode, I was like, yep, Aemon is going to kill Lucerys in this episode, and it's going to pop stuff off for the next season. I knew that mess from the beginning of the episode, and I was like, damn, when it happened, I was like, I was still shocked out of my mind. But the way they did it was so cool. It was like some kind of horror film.
Yeah.
But I was down with it, though.
Yeah.
Like, I was enjoying every bit of that whole scene, but I was so mad because I really love Lucerys. I was like, oh, such a cute little kid. So nice and gentle. And, and that's the thing with the whole Game of Thrones world is that you might like a character, they're awesome, and then there'd be the main ones getting killed, like, early. Early, right? But oh my god, I just fell for Rhaenyra, and then that whole scene where they did the baby.
I love Rhaenyra so much.
Y'all.
You talking about Rhaenyra?
Yes. No. Okay. Not Rhaenys. Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra's the main one.
Is it Rhaenyra or Rhaenyra?
No, it's Rhaenyra, and then Rhaenys.
Okay. It is so freaking difficult to get this stuff straight.
You know what's so messed up? I have her straight. Like, I got all the names down. Anybody can get at me. Rhaenyra's kids: Jacaerys, Lucerys, Joffrey, Aegon the Third, and Viserys the Third as well. And then she had Visenya, but Visenya was not born didn't come to completion, so she had like a stillbirth. It was so tragic, that whole scene.
Yeah,
I've got all the names down. I got what's her name's children, Allison's children. She got Aegon the second. She got Aemon. She got Helena. You know, even her Helena's children are Jaehaera and Jaehaerys. I got it down.
Oh,
so
dang,
it's
you
like,
go.
I know all the names. The only thing I have a problem with remembering is the dragon names.
Oh yeah,
If they're not
any
like
of the
unique dragon names, if they're not unique, and I know like, oh, this one is like Rhaenys. I know Rhaenys' dragon is Meleys. That's it. Because there's no other name like it. And then I know that Rhaenyra is a Syrax. Sorry. And I know that. Oh crap. Now I'm drawing a blank on a Daemon's dragon, because his dragon is deformed, has an unusually long neck. Most of the dragons don't have it. And I know Vhagar, which is like the monster dragon that's really scary, that Aemon took from Bela and Rhaena. And so, see, I know all this. I just got it down. I'm here for Game of Thrones so hard, and I'm like, I was supposed to be doing other stuff last night, but I watched that show, and I watched all the behind the scenes, because you know they do a inside the episode after the end. Do you know that? Do you guys watch it at your house?
No.
After this, if you get past the credits, they do a preview for the next episode, and then they do looking into the episode right after it. So you actually can learn about the episode within the episode, actually.
Okay.
So I watch that every time, because I go to the end. And then on HBO Max, each one has like a 23-minute, 25-minute, like, making of the House of Dragon, how the house is built. It's like the docuseries. So if you can go from episode 1 to the 10 and then watch each piece if you want. So I did that too. So I'm like down with everything. I miss I do miss the shows. I'm just like, I'm not gonna have that thing to look forward to and to listen.
Yeah, it's so definitely like a water wait. Well, I can only talk about House of the Dragon, but House of the Dragon is definitely like that water cooler one, because I like one of my coworkers at work, which recover fast, V. I looked forward to like Monday being like, V, did you watch?
Yeah.
Or she would come to me and she'd be like, Whitney. And we would.
It was amazing. Like this season, like they had these amazing ability on House of the Dragon. I'm not gonna talk about the Rings of Power, since you haven't watched it, although it's very good. I'm blurting out about that, but really with House of Dragon, they had these awesome moments of just like, you would think everything is going slowly, but they just staged things so brilliantly that you're just like, wow. And then it's like, it harkens back to the other show, but it's still very much its own thing. That it's actually more reminiscent of the early seasons of Game of Thrones as opposed to the later ones. Let's not talk about the last two. But really, George R.R. Martin, you just need to finish a book. Damn. Like, what is taking so long to finish the damn book? You got all the money in the world. You don't got to work. Why haven't you finished the book? Like, I don't get it.
Can I plus one on your House of the Dragon Blerd Out? Because I just want to, because I'm also blurting out about that.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
It's just, I think a good word for it is like tight.
Yes.
Because there's like no flight. No fluff. Like everything is like, it's, to me, perfectly paced. There's not like anything unnecessary. It's just like, it's like perfect.
It's presented well, packaged well. You're not like, you're shocked, but it's not out of left field. It's just like, it makes sense. It's like, it's going along with the story. You're not like shocked like we were shocked that Daenerys would just, because the whole thing with Daenerys flipping out and burning all of King's Landing down, to me, that was like shocking in a way that's like, this came out of nowhere. Like,
exactly.
This doesn't fall into line with what the story should be doing.
Yeah.
But the shocking things that happen in this series, it's like, oh, wow. It's amazing. This is going to change the stakes. This is going to be interesting. Like, Aemon, you could even tell, like, Aemon did not mean for what happened to happen.
Yeah, he was like, oh, shit.
He's like, I definitely started a war now.
Yeah.
Like, and I was surprised that he was going to look like that. Because I thought they were going to do it where he deliberately killed his nephew. Because it seemed like that's what he did, because Aemon's kind of sadistic anyway.
I know. He was like...
He's intense.
When you started off and he was like a boy on the show and they were like making fun of him, you're like, oh, poor dude. And then he just went like wackadoodle.
Yeah,
like,
he's one of those silent kids you got to watch out for later on, because they might become the school shooter, you know? which is not funny to laugh at, but
that's pretty much what he was, though.
Kind of what he kept, and I was so mad that when the boy was like, "I'm here to deliver a message, nothing more. I'm not gonna fight your ass." But of course, he brought his dragon and was chasing the dude, and I'm like, man, see, you're baiting him. You already tried to get his eye while he was delivering a message. And I mean, the owner of the house you were in was like, "Hey, not in my house. Like, chill out. You're trying to kill. Like, come on."
Yeah, but I just like,
chill out. Like,
there's so many people I want to get got.
Yes.
I mean, maybe
Kristen
not so
Cole
many.
is on the top of my list.
Yes. Oh my God.
Kristen Cole is a petty bitch. Okay.
Yes. And
petty.
Cray Cray. It's
He's
like,
a petty
girl,
bitch.
he is like a freaking wild dog. He will
my
bite you at
God.
some point because he is just crazy.
He tries to act like he's so
noble and stuff, but I'm like, he's
righteous.
crazy.
And I'm sorry, him and Allison. I'm like, you both are super self-righteous. I'm sorry. You guys think you're the only ones doing things.
She's self-righteous, but I think she's also hurt.
I guess so, but I think her problem is...
I don't have as much of a problem with her.
Her problem is she's just mad that Rhaenyra Rhaenyra is living in the world. She's a woman in this world where women are now on top, where they have to fall under and abide by these things, these men in power, the men that lord over them. They just have to do what they say. However, Rhaenyra still finds ways to live and still get her own thing across, and she's just mad because she didn't have the guts to do the same thing. I'm like, if you didn't want to marry Viserys from the beginning, you should have been like, "I'm not doing this." You know what I mean? Or you found found a side chick, like, you know, or side man, I should say, like Rhaenyra did, because Rhaenyra, she tried.
Well, that was the main reason I had a problem with Rhaenyra.
No, I had no problem with Rhaenyra because she knew the kind of man she's marrying, and I love the part where she at least explained that she tried for them to have a child together.
That wasn't where I had a problem, though.
Laenor himself was so disgusted by the pussy that he was like, "I can't even do this." So she's like, "I gotta have children."
That's not where I have a problem. My problem is that it's seemingly so blatant and that she's putting people in danger because of it. Like with Sir Kristen Cole, he could have been, like, from what they said, like, beheaded because, like, he was with the princess. And it's like, dude, you're not taking into consideration that you are putting other people in danger because of your actions.
It was a secret. Nobody was going to know nothing. He was the one that caught feelings off of a one-time hit it and quit it. That's the problem. He should have known better to think that he could marry
that it was
Rhaenyra.
more than one time, though.
I think it was that one time,
I don't think so.
Like, well, you know, passes of time. Their little fling. I was just like, you should have known better that you can't marry the queen. I mean, the princess. Come on, come on. That whole let's run away together, please. The dragon will crisp you alive, Crispin. You know what I mean? I know his name is Kristen, but anyway, I just thought he was so.
He is also at the He is at the top of my list for getting got.
Yeah, so I just thought that she wasn't. I felt like
Also
the kings get to do it, princes get to do it. Why can't she do it? That's what I'm saying. She's like, I know,
it's such a freaking double standard.
Why can't I do this too? Because I'm
going
to go along with...
in the world today, modern.
Thank you.
Society.
She's like, I'm going to go along with my father. I'm going to marry someone who I know does not like women. Who I know we're not in love with each other. But I'm going to do this duty because my father said I should do. She did it. She tried her, and like she's like, you know what? I'm gonna get me a side, somebody I love on the side.
But that's not what I have a problem with. I have a problem with the fact that she wasn't more discreet.
Discreet?
Yeah.
She was discreet. Nobody told Kristen Cole.
Everybody did. I'm not talking about Kristen Cole now. Now I'm talking about Sir Strong.
Well, you know what? That's the only thing that I still say we cannot judge Rhaenyra because we do not know how indiscreet she was, because it's like people are assuming that, oh yeah, it's because of the kids' hair colors that of course, like,
and
it could have been anybody besides Strong. So I was like, why is everybody saying Strong? What happened that people thought it was Strong?
But that to me is kind of a thing in the point of being non-discreet, because like since it could have been everybody, well, why isn't it Strong? Does she have a pattern of behavior so everybody just knows?
She wasn't a hoe because she stayed with the same lover for the whole time. All her 3 first kids are Strong's kids, okay?
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry.
I still had a problem. I still
Rhaenyra.
think that she was irresponsible early on.
Okay, but I disagree.
But I do think, because I was like, none of these people deserve to be the ruler. But until my mom was like, actually, Rhaenys, and I'm like, you know what? You're right. She's the only non-trash person.
Rhaenys is not. She's the only non-trash person on the show, to be honest with you, because she does everything and she's just watching. She's looking. Although at one point in the episode, I was wondering, like, is this chick gonna betray or not? Because I remember that time she was just looking. She was kind of just smiling at the destruction of like Rhaenyra and Daemon's relationship. Although Daemon's
that's another person who I want to get got.
Daemon's not,
because I'm like, you don't grab your wife by the neck in a chokehold and then walk out. I'm like, no, he need to get got.
Daemon is like a weird character to me because you can never tell what he loves or cares about. I feel like it's war. He just likes chaos or something.
It's interesting.
It's weird. Something about his behavior.
I love to hate him. He is such a complicated character that you're like, oh, 1 minute you're like, okay, he kind of cool right now. And then you're like, I hate you, bitch ass.
Yeah, and then you're like, what are you doing, Daemon? You're doing too much. And then you're just like, oh, well, where's Daemon? You know what I mean? You're just like, I want to know what he's doing. I want to know what he's... Like that scene where the kids were fighting and then everybody came in because the one, Aemon lost his eye. And then Daemon came up in there and he didn't say a damn thing. He was just leaning against the wall watching everything unfold with a smile on his face. And I was like, Daemon, you a bastard for real. You know what I mean? He only got involved to stop Kristen Cole from doing something, which I thought, I was like very happy that he stopped Kristen Cole. Because Kristen Cole would have done something.
Kristen Cole is a little pussy whip bitch.
Yes. And he wish he could have Allison now, but he can't. So I'm sorry. He was trying to act like he's so tough. I was like, no,
speaking of
you're a horrible person too.
Lord Strong.
Oh,
the snake.
Oh, you mean you're talking about Larry Strong?
Yeah,
the one with the club foot.
Yeah,
gross. And his foot fetish thing.
He is such a snake. I'm like, somebody get him.
He killed his own father and brother.
I know.
What? It's weird. No, you know what's so weird about that? Okay, can we just? I'm sorry, y'all. This is a long blurred out about House of the Dragon. But people, no lie, people are so invested in House of the Dragon. They do podcast episodes just on each episode of House of the Dragon, like Black Girl podcast.
You could.
Black
These
Girl
like
Nerd,
are
excuse me.
Very full and like
such good drama, good, like it's very good discussion points and all that stuff. So I'm down for everybody doing that. Just one episode on House of the Dragon, but there was an episode or last episode on the Green Council, episode 9, where we find. Because I was wondering, what is Larys getting out of this relationship he has with Allison? Is it just the proximity to power? Or is it some kind of weird like? I'm cleaving on as a parasitic, thing
he's definitely
to
a parasite.
her, or some kind of weird, like, I've just latched on to Allison and I want to be here and I'm just going to do whatever she wants, some kind of weird devotion thing. I was just like, what is it? And then they showed us what it was. It's so ironic. Someone with a club foot has a foot fetish. And they had a scene, y'all, forgive me for everyone, but they had a scene where all Allison had to do was take off her shoes. Take off her stockings, show her feet, and he was just masturbate station. That's what he was just doing.
And I'm just like, ooh, you nasty. You nasty. Dude.
I was like, so this is how he gets paid? I was like, oh, poor thing. So it's like, it's some kind of weird, so it's like kind of weird, almost like it's some kind of weird, like, relationship thing, like, I don't know, lust thing. I don't know what it is, but something very wrong about that. I mean, in general, it's weird.
Yeah.
But it's like sick almost because it's like, I feel like if she said it, it's almost like he didn't really care about having his household name, whatever, but he did it for her because she wanted it out of some kind of like weird connection that he has with the foot fetish thing that he's doing. Like, I wonder if it's like what came first. Like, I don't know. It's so interesting though. It's disgusting, but it's very interesting if that's his like provocation. Like, because he knows he has this connection with her, she gives him this thing that like, because he's not a person that nobody wants to be with. He's like got no prospects, but he had another brother.
He got a whole house now.
Now, now he does. But at the same time, at that time, nobody was really checking for him or anything.
You know what? I think before he still would have had the whole house because since his brother was on the council, doesn't their oath say I shall take no wife, I shall have no children?
Yeah, that's true. So you're right. I didn't know if there was another brother or not. I thought there was 3 of them, of the Strong brothers, but
he probably would have killed them if there was. We didn't hear anything.
You're right. But Larys I was like, Larys, you killed your own brother and father just for what? And I was like,
your father was an honorable dude.
And I was like, do you love Allison that much, or is it just this weird, sick kind of sexual relationship you have with this fetish? Let me call it a fetish relationship you have with her, because I don't know. There's nothing sexual happening on her side.
Yeah,
it's just him. It's very sick and interesting though, but it's very Game of Thrones. But it's fascinating to me. I was like, that makes sense. Why he would go so hard and kill people for her. If this is what he's doing. Like, it made sense after a while. I was like, because I did not understand why he killed his brother and his father. I was like, why did he do this?
I was like, he's just a snake.
I mean, I thought, but I was like, why is he riding this hard for Allison? I was like, you would really do that much for Allison? Or did you really, like, hate your father and brother and you wanted to take them out anyway?
He was just really, really, is just very, very opportunistic. And he's like, I just want to be as close to the crown.
Who knows?
As possible. Bless you.
Thank you. I was trying to hold this sneeze.
It's just so interesting. Like, you're right. You can just like go on and on. I love it so much.
Awesome ass episode. Like the dragon fighting. And honestly, Whitney, go back and look at those inside episodes. They show you how they do the dragon fighting and stuff. And this new technology dome thing that they use. It's so interesting how they can accomplish these scenes.
And I also really like the scene, like you said, like with Corliss right? and Rhaenys.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. The table was cool too. But
oh, God.
Because, like, when he, like, you know, pledged loyalty to her, because, like, Rhaenys made that happen.
Yes.
And I like you said, she's always watching, but she's, like, she understands what would be best for the realm. She's honestly, like, all these men around her are trying to tell her to go to war, and she's the only one keeping a cool head.
And she would have done, honestly, Rhaenys would have made a better king than Viserys. Queen. Let's say regent or whatever.
Yeah.
She would have made a better regent, and knowing their characters. Viserys was nice, but he was so soft. He did not. He tried to command his authority at times, but
he had a peaceful reign, and there's nothing wrong with having.
I don't have a problem with him. I really like Viserys.
I think he was a good king, actually.
I really like Viserys, and I love that he stood. No matter what, he was like, Rhaenyra is my main daughter. Like, I love my other children, but he's like, I love Rhaenyra. She's my firstborn. I promised her this, and I'm sticking to it. And he didn't give up. So I love that, you know. And so I was down for Viserys. I even fell for him in his little last episode. I just thought there were some things he could have been more sure about, but again, it was just a confusion. Allison ran with it.
And I was like, the dude is dying. You can't be mad at him. But I'm like, no, Viserys, no, that's not Rhaenyra. Don't say it.
I think this episode should be called House of the Dragon / Black Adam. Because now I was like, ooh, look at the time. Okay, we're going to get off of
oh yeah, what else were you done with your Blerd Out?
It was those two shows, because I'm not gonna lie, I wish I could get into the Rings of Power. It's so complex. I actually prefer, I'm not gonna lie, I would say of the two, House of Dragons is my favorite, but these are both based off of books that are so dense, so rich with context. Like, there's like anthologies and back histories and like, you know, encyclopedias of these two worlds that Tolkien and George R. Martin wrote. So I love a world that's so deep and like Harry Potter-esque. It's like all the stuff is there. Like, you can just go back, so that they have all this content to make all these all these series, you know. I feel like they're gonna do more prequels, and I'm down for it. But the Rings of Power, because I'm not as familiar. I don't read the books for both of these series; it's just too dense. But I'm not as familiar with what's going on with the Targaryens. I knew about, but I wasn't as familiar with what's going on in Rings of Power. And they're straying a lot from the books, so some of the stuff that's in Rings of Power are completely made up, completely fictional. Certain characters, the Harfoots, all that kind of stuff, they're not in the books. Disa, all those people are not in the books.
Somebody said that the Harfoots
they're not in the books,
or mentioned, or at least that the type
Somebody
of
told me they were made up completely. Or maybe the characters are made up and Harfoots really exist.
Okay, yeah. I think that sounds more like...
Disa is not in the books. And some other characters, Arondir and Bronwyn, Theo, those whole things is not in the books.
Okay.
So it's like they're trying to like add some of the old world into it, and then also to progress the story of how Sauron came to power, how the rings came to be, you know. And it's very interesting too. Like, I love it. So just big ups to my fantasy series. And I'm also loving the black people in them. For all you haters of black people being in fantasy, you gets one. You can kick rocks with the open-toed sandal, okay? All right, I'm done.
All right, so my Blerd Out... my Blerd Out was the same as Bola as far as House of the Dragon, because it was amazing.
Oh my god, that opening scene is just amazing. Let me
stop. It is so cool. It is really cool.
Like, Lord.
But my other Blerd Out is kind of crosses your second Blerd Out. because over the weekend I watched the extended versions of all of the Lord of the Rings.
Oh wow!
Which I had never watched. I had only watched like the ones that they released in theaters.
I never watched them. My sister has because she's obsessed with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
but I never watched them.
So this was my first time I watched all three. Those
in
things.
One weekend. Girl,
yeah,
that's 6 hours of work.
No, it is not 6 hours, girl. It's like
7. Girl,
it's like 10 hours.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because the last movie is like 4 hours and 20 minutes.
Wow.
And each of them is over 3 hours.
The extended versions?
Yeah, like
whoa,
3.5. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it's like 10 hours of work.
Wow.
Might be close to 11, but yeah. But it was like, I mean,
what possessed you to do this?
I think because I was going to start watching The Rings of Power anyway, and I saw them on there. I was like looking for something to watch.
Where are they?
HBO Max.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I watched them all on HBO Max. So like, I just wanted to watch them, and I saw the extended versions. I'm like, oh, I've never watched the extended versions. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So now I'm prepared. I'm actually going to restart The Rings of Power because it's been like weeks since I watched those first 2 episodes.
At least it's all finished, so you don't have to wait like I did.
Yes, which is I'm excited
I feel like I'm
about.
gonna go back and like we watch both series.
And I'm excited now because I feel like now I've freshly watched. Well, I guess maybe The Hobbit would be. Well, no, it's not.
It's like in the middle, so you don't really need to.
Yeah, so I think this is like good enough where I'm like now I'm fresh because it's been years since I watched Lord of the Rings.
Desolation of Smaug. I just love saying Smaug.
Yeah, but the other reason I watched it, my mom was talking about how it was like a couple weeks ago. She was like, "Oh yeah, I'm kind of sleepy." She was like, "I stayed up late till 3 a.m. I was watching one of the Lord of the Rings."
Your mom?
Yeah,
oh, that's cool.
And she was like, even though you can, you can stream it. She was like, but it was good and stuff. It was in the good parts, so I couldn't like stop. So I finished watching.
Yeah, Mom's cool. I love Mom.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that she watches these because I can watch Daredevil with my mom, but like some of the fantasy stuff, she's just like. I was watching the show in her room because they were looking at stuff in the living room, and I was just like, as soon as she caught wind of a dragon, and I was watching the behind the scenes. She was getting all bent out of shape. I'm like, Mom, chill out. This is the behind the scenes, okay? She's like, don't watch that. And I was like, chill out, Mom. So certain things with animals and she's just not down. Witches, she's just not down for. So like stuff that's real, she'll get down with. It's weird. She has like her pick and choose days, like. But I think it's because I was watching this, and she's just like, "Get out of my room." But I like that your mom can get down and watch these things with you. That's cool.
So I'm excited to now start The Rings of Power soon. Ooh, but I have like 2 legitimate, like excited Blerd Outs, and then I'm the honorable mention, She-Hulk. I liked the entire series. I'm still not sure how I feel about the last episode. I haven't decided yet. But I'm so excited for like the newest trailer for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
You know what's interesting?
What?
I just saw the Ant-Man Quantumania trailer, and I sent it to you, and I'm like, Quantumania looks good too.
It does look like it's going to be good.
Ant-Man. So like all the movies, it
looks good, but it didn't have a lot of like. This felt more like a teaser trailer.
It definitely is a teaser.
Yeah.
It's a teaser trailer, I would say. I think the full one's gonna come later because it's still only October. So and the film's coming out in February.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But like I am so hyped up for Wakanda Forever. That's right.
Ibambe.
Ibambe.
Shaking it. We're shaking, guys. Y'all can't see it, but we're shaking.
It's like I'm ready.
Yes,
I am ready. Like this is the movie of the season, of the year.
I know it's gonna be awesome. I dare somebody say something different.
Just the trailers are already awesome. I'm like, I could just like live off of these trailers.
Yeah, I feel like nobody has nothing bad to say about Black Panther. So I feel like it's just
and
gonna be great.
the most recent one, we were talking about this like after watching Black Adam, but like just the music behind the trailer and stuff, and it's just like subtle things like. I think in the first trailer and maybe in this one too, you could just hear somebody just whispering like "Wakanda Forever."
Yeah, that's
and you're
so
like,
cool.
It's powerful.
I know it's so
I don't
cool.
know. Yeah,
I love it. I can't wait to. You're right. I'm blurting that.
So excited.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be fun. You know?
It's gonna be amazing.
I have an honorable mention. I watched the King's Jester comedy show by comedy special by Hasan Minhaj.
Oh yeah.
And that thing is fire. Like I'm telling you guys,
it
y'all need to just
really
go listen
good.
to it. You watched it too?
I did.
Oh my god, I enjoyed it thoroughly.
I just love him. Period. He's so good.
He's on it. Like anything I just love everything about him. I'm like, I have to watch it. It's just like Trevor Noah. I have to watch because there's specials. Trevor Noah's special is gonna be coming up soon too. And I've been waiting for that, so I didn't buy tickets to his tour this year. And I should have known both of them were doing comedy. We're gonna do Netflix comedy specials because I was like, these tours. I just like I'm gonna chill back because I know they're gonna be specials. That's why I was like I'm good. But last time I was like I need to see Trevor. He came to Richmond, and then I like got injured because of it. Those seats at the Altria at the very top. Damn. Anyway, we're not going into that. But the King's Jester. I mean, it was poignant and funny and real and like very vulnerable. He was raw in that thing. He really talked about his real struggles. Like,
yeah.
I watched Yvonne Orji's one as well.
I did too. It didn't hit the same
much.
way.
Yes, it did not hit the same way. I'm sorry. I love you, Yvonne, and I always support my Niger people, my Nigerians, but it wasn't as good as the first one. So
something just wasn't hitting as hard.
I was like, I need better jokes. That's all. I mean, even the side little things, some of them were funny, but not all of them were. And I was like, that one.
Maybe it's just because people are coming. Well, for some people, it's just coming off of COVID, so they haven't had as much time to like.
She had a lot of time.
I mean, time to do it in front of an audience because that's how they refine.
No, I didn't feel her performance was bad. I just thought it wasn't as funny.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think the performance was bad either. But when they get it when they have it like special ready, they have been like shopping it around, refining it, tweaking it based off of feedback from the audience because they kind of need that feedback to see. Okay, this one's getting really good. This one isn't getting as many laughs as I want. So let me try to work on tweaking it.
I would give her a show like I gave Yvonne's first show a 10, but this show I would give it 8. Maybe I would give it an 8 because she did a good job. She tried, but there were some parts where I'm like, okay, I'm not laughing. I'm just
I can't remember it as much, and because I can't remember as much, I think for me probably more like a 7.
Okay, that's fair. Actually.
But I agree that her first show 10.
I'm giving her an 8 because her outfit was phenomenal. Her hair was on point, and she brought her parents there, which but let's go back to Hasan. The King's Jester is definitely worth. It's even better than Homecoming. It's so much better than Homecoming. Homecoming was awesome, but this one was even better. Oh god, you guys have to watch. I'm gonna watch it again. Anyway, but y'all. Don't worry, we're gonna put the timestamp in the show notes, so you guys can if you really want to be like, I just want to hear Black Adam, you can go to this timestamp. Okay, we're gonna get into Black Adam now. Okay.
Oh wait, I think there was something else that I wanted to honorable mention, but now I can't remember. Never mind. Okay, let's go ahead.
All right. So first impressions about Black Adam. What was your first impressions? Go.
So my first impression was like the effects, the cinematography, all that stuff was fire. It was great. It looked like the movie looked great.
I agree. That's it. Yo, okay, I feel you. First impressions of the film, I was like, oh, it was nice. It was nice.
It was good.
It was not bad. Not good. It was just nice.
It was entertaining.
It was. You sat there and you watched it. You know what I mean? But but I'm not going to lie to you. There was something missing. And so
I think there's something here that wasn't there before, except for the opposite.
Yeah, because I was just like, not the right song. You got to flip it because I was like, there's something here there was something missing. There's a song called "Something's Missing" by what's his name? By John Mayer on one of his first albums from back in the
I don't think I've heard that 2000s.
One. It's called "Something's Missing," and I don't know how to fix it. Anyway, I think it's on the Gravity album. Anyway, try it. Like that song was fitting right here. Something's missing. And I listened to a lot of things afterwards because I wanted to pinpoint and get some ideas that I was thinking or just some verbiage for what I thought was missing.
Yeah.
So let's go into the pros first because I think the cons will take longer to really get into. Not trying to be funny, really. I'm just like, I got more to say about what was not right about this film.
Yeah.
Number one thing. Eye candy. Just a 10. This movie gets a 10 on eye candy alone. Just The Rock and Mr. Aldous Hodge. Even, I'm not gonna lie, Pierce Brosnan was looking like a whole zaddy in this film too. I'm just saying.
I personally love Noah Centineo.
Yes.
I love him. Period.
Everybody was just looking on fire. I was just like, okay. The sexiness, okay, the thickums. I just like that was his whole body. He didn't even need no muscles.
I loved Cyclone, like her hair and everything.
Oh my gosh, she looked so beautiful.
And she had like the best, like I don't like powers. Costume or what, like the way her powers like looked on screen. It was just so cool.
They took the colors of her outfit and like made that into the wind.
Yeah,
and then her hair was just flying on that nice, beautiful.
It just looked so cool. It was like amazing. A wonderful piece of like cinematography or whatever you call that.
I just didn't like that. I was like, why didn't they just leave her hair like that from the beginning? Like they had her when you first meet her in like box braids. So I'm like, so I'm supposed to believe that her hair changes to these curly red curls when she turns into the power, and then the rest of the movie, her hair stayed like with the red. I was just like, what's going on here?
I didn't even notice
black
that.
hair works. Because that's when she came. That's what she had. Like, and I was like, where did the braids go? And then where does this stop and end? Because it was like black hair doesn't work that way.
Maybe it was a long jet ride.
There was no. There's black girl magic.
And do a twist out.
Girl, there's black girl magic. There is, but it's not that fast. I'm sorry. You can't just be undoing some long ass braids and then you got a whole twist out, curl out, popping with red color. I don't believe it. So that part I didn't understand. But I thought it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
But just, continuity wise, somebody should have told him black hair don't work that way. Okay? Anyway, so I would have just preferred if they had left her hair red for the whole thing. Anyway, but the guys everybody looked great. The costumes were great.
Everything
again, Whitney said the cinematography was amazing.
Yes.
And the effects were on par with all the Marvel films and even the DC films. They have great effects. It's just the story doesn't utilize make the effects work.
And or characterization. Because sometimes it's hard for me to tell. I'm like, was this a characterization thing? Was it a story? And then sometimes they bleed. Plot versus characterization.
It could be both.
Yeah.
It could be both. And I honestly liked The Rock's portrayal. I had no problem with his acting. I had no problem with his performance.
Yeah.
Actually, that point, it was good.
Yeah.
Like, The Rock performed well.
He just wasn't, I don't feel the character was given a very substantial characterization or storyline for like any type of transformation.
Exactly, and this is the reason why, because it doesn't show that he did change that much.
Yeah.
It didn't show. Because it's still like, the whole film, you're just like, he's like, I'm going to be me, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and you're not going to tell me, you're not going to change my mind. But there were people that were changing his mind in certain things. But he was still like, nah, I'm still going to kill folks if I need to. And it's like the whole Justice Society was sent there because they were like, you are a little too powerful and we need you to stop killing folks. And he's like, this is not your country, get out of the way. And it was just a lot. It was some, can we get into the cons now? Are there any more positives?
I think we need to go ahead and get
The Rock, you're the main positive. I'm sorry, I know this is your passion project.
You're always great on screen. And I really love the casting. The casting was great.
The acting was great, but it's just like,
they didn't have the storyline to really
the writing. I was just like
to showcase how good of actors and actresses all these people were. Because I agree. I think I don't think there was any problem with like the actors and actresses. I think they didn't have enough material to work off of. And
I have to another positive. I definitely love the story of Amon. It was Amon. Amon and his mom.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot her mom's name. I'm not gonna lie.
I forgot
too. My phone fell. So
I know. I just know the actress Sarah Shahi.
I know her name, Mrs. Shahi, and I like the family story because it helps ground you a little bit. It was the main thing because and then Sarah's character was at least telling it like it is in some ways because this whole show to me, Adriana, this whole show to me was like kind of like a what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like reminds you that, about America, like the Justice Society came in like America and in one of these countries, like one of these Middle Eastern countries where they're being oppressed already. America shows up, but they don't really do anything about the oppressed things. And they just like doing whatever they want. And then they're like, we're getting out of here. And I'm like, but you really didn't help the people. Actually.
Yes, that was my problem with the Justice Society. I'm like, so yeah, these like 30 years of oppression under this like gang regime or whatever.
But y'all only show up to.
But now y'all come because they got like a hero or whatnot.
Right now you mad? It's like somebody being mad, a side chick getting a boyfriend, and then you want to feel some kind of way. You're like, so the whole time you want to make your girlfriend.
I saw Amanda Waller, I was like, yeah, we got problems now. Because I watch like the DC shows and stuff, like
that's Viola Davis' character, right?
Viola Davis's character, yeah. Like from the Suicide Squad and Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad. Oh my God,
she's more of a DC person. I don't even watch
Peacemaker is it's hilarious. I think you would like that. You should really watch it. But like, I'm like, you know that Amanda Waller is a sketchy bitch.
Yes, she is. She was hardcore. I was like, you were about to have a whole problem with this little mini demon guy that just came out of nowhere, and dude didn't save your asses, and then you over there being rude. And I was like, she's like, you want to stay in my prison? Well, then Canada's gonna be a new prison. I was like,
anytime Task Force X or whatever they call show up, I'm like, automatically sus, because ever since the Suicide Squad, when they're like, okay, we need you to just go squash this thing because we had a hand in creating this big thing and we don't want nobody to know about it, and F this nation, let it destroy all of us. I'm like, nah, sus.
Yes.
Y'all sus from here on forward.
My main so going into my major con, the plot of this story, it seemed like for how long it was, it just seemed like they let a lot of just these fight scenes take up time. And I honestly felt like I love a good fight scene, but I need the fight scene to be purposeful. And I just felt like there were so many back-to-back fight scenes that I'm just like, you can't just keep having all this Hodge character, Hawkman, and him fighting for no reason and then destroying the property. Let's get into that.
Oh my God. So much property damage. Problem.
I was looking, I was like, he's just destroying all this infrastructure in this country. Like, I was like, okay, y'all fighting and all, this is a superhero. But I was like, didn't I mention this when we were leaving the theater? Like, if this was Marvel, the Accords would come right back.
Sokovia Accords, reenacted.
You're like, look how much you effed up Kandar. You're like, look how much. It was so much fighting and so much destruction. And I'm just like, they kind of like let it go in these movies. But I'm like, no. That's why I like Marvel, that they went ahead and like, let's pay attention to this. Because you guys did damage stuff.
I appreciate that about Marvel, about how they always have like, they pretty much almost always have like some underlying theme. Something, greater than just, it's the superhero elements are built around it, but it's got a core something to really ground in reality. Stick with you as like a human, like, connect us as people.
Yeah. And in this one, I'm not sure what the message was in this.
And I think DC in general, some of them is just like, some of their stuff that they make, it's just like, oh, it's just for like, here's some stuff, like cool explosions, cool special effects, but it doesn't have that core.
But people are so drawn to the DC where like, people love Spider-Man and Batman. People love Superman and Batman and Aquaman.
I love me some Batman.
And Wonder Woman. And I'm like, but then what happened? Like, what happened in between the time? Like, I remember the earlier Superman and Batman movies were a boss. Like, people loved them. I loved all the old Supermans.
Yeah.
I just never watched the really old one with, I think his name was Christopher Reeves, the one that ended up being paralyzed. I never watched that one.
Yeah, I enjoyed those.
I mean, the Lois and Clark, Smallville, all that stuff was
like
awesome.
The Dark Knight trilogy, excellent.
Dark Knight, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on with the DCEU now. I'm just like, what is happening? Because it's not really working.
I think it's like what they're
except
focusing
for Wonder Woman.
on.
I loved Wonder Woman.
I did love Wonder Woman.
Aquaman 1 wasn't bad either. Actually, Aquaman 1 was slaps. I'm sorry.
I enjoyed Aquaman, but at the same time, it was not on a level with like a lot of Marvel stuff, because it still, like, for me, didn't have like the core thing. It was really, really entertaining, but it didn't have like that kind of core.
I thought it was a good origin story. It was better than this, Black Adam. And here's the thing I think. The problem with this film is, like, in this film, I had no idea, like, who am I rooting for? Because here you got Black Adam destroying shit and just being angry and mad and, like, not caring about the people around him as much. And then you have the Justice League coming in who were like, okay, if this is Black Adam's movie and the Justice League are trying to stop him, so are they the villains? They're not really doing nothing. They're just concerned about containing him. Don't really care about what's actually going on in this country. So are they the villains? And then you have this guy who's like trying to steal the crown and be his own little king and whatever. And then he became a villain. And then, okay.
He's like, I know he's a villain.
Right? It's just like, I think for us to care, and I'm not going to lie, I could not, as much as I like the Justice Society people, I didn't have any like thing to ground me into caring about them. I was like, why do I have to care about these people that you just assembled quickly?
They were likable, but I didn't really care.
I didn't see the point. I don't really see what Smasher was doing either.
Honestly,
I love Mr. Centennial, but what was he doing?
I didn't really quite care about Black Adam either.
Exactly.
There was nobody I really
He's just supposed
cared.
to be badass, and I'm like, that doesn't...
And they had, like, good material to pull it together, because, like, the whole thing with his son... It could have, like, that could have been the thing that was, like, the core, but it just didn't hit.
With that? Because I'm not going to lie, I started caring more about him when I saw that. Like, that's why I bumped my score up a bit, because I was like, okay, here makes sense.
I was like, this is some more core stuff. This is the stuff that, like, you know, really sticks with you after the movie. I was like, so that, like... That made it, bumped it up a little bit for me.
Right, and I think, I'm sorry to say, DC is where you guys, you know, imitation is the best, the sweetest form of flattery, because y'all could have taken some of these, like, plans that Marvel has and just, like, copy them because they work. I think what they should have done to make people care more about Black Adam is, like, introduce him in another thing first and then have his own origin story. You know what I mean? Like,
but you don't even need to do that.
Look how they did with Black Panther. Like, Black Panther was in Winter Soldier first, and then you're like, oh, and then you're like, oh, let me care about this person.
True.
Because
but
you
they
have
don't do it for everybody, and it works. I'm trying to think.
Maybe they should have had the Justice Society movie first. That way, I can be like, oh, these are the characters, and then then they could have been like, oh, Black Adam's going to be the new thing that these people. Because I was like, in the film, I was like, I don't care. Why am I caring about any of these people? The only people I cared about was the girl and Adriana and her son. Those are the only people I cared about. I was like, with these superheroes, I'm like, y'all was just doing stuff. Something was wrong. I think
destroying historical monuments.
I think the order of what they were trying to do is all out of whack, and they were trying to do too much in this film as well. I thought that they had pared it back some, and like, I just thought they were doing too much. There was way too much graphics, fighting too much. It was just...
I think you're right. I think maybe they needed to focus more on the transformation.
That's the word. The film lacked focus. And I felt like they were just kind of like, let's make The Rock as awesome looking as possible in every frame. No. Like, let's figure out what's really going on underneath this character. Like, the whole time that he just kept running around, bumping into things... All the time I was like, what is going on inside of him? That's what I wanted to know.
Like when he was looking at the statue and stuff, like I want to know more about that.
Yes, he wasn't saying anything.
When they finally got to the part where it's like how he got his powers, it's like, this is what...
It was like an hour in, they were doing that.
This is what I care about. This is what's going to make me care more. So I need to see more of how... I understand how maybe it's like affected him, because I know like he said something different and his son had a different worldview and stuff, but I want to see more of what caused the transformation for him.
I think it would have been better if they had done the Kandar stuff, because I love the beginning. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I love the beginning of the whole Kandar setup, the origin of the whole...
Agreed.
That part was amazing.
I had no problem with that.
And then I think what they should have done was fully show us what was happening instead of leaving it as a reveal at the end. I think they should have shown us so that we know what's going on with Black Adam from the beginning. That way
disagree.
we wouldn't. I think they did a good job showing us, because then we could have seen some transformation. Because we already understand why he's the way he is, as opposed to, you know, us trying to be like, what are you doing this whole hour and 15 minutes first?
I disagree. I appreciate the reveal of how exactly he got his powers, like kind of saving it as a reveal.
Yeah, at least his story to be revealed.
Well, yeah. I wanted more of his story, because honestly, even without like this thing with his son, he was kind of already that way. Because you see, like the thing with his, like his son was the one who was given the powers of Shazam. Because he even told his son, he was like, the graveyards are full of heroes. It's like, don't be a hero. Like that's his whole like thing. So like that's already how he was anyway.
But he seemed like he was more embittered because his family died.
Yes, I do agree with that.
He didn't sound like he was... He just sounded like a realist there. But the bitterness that is in him that we were witnessing, the cutthroatness that he was just like, I don't give a damn. That came from the bitterness of seeing his children, his wife and his son die, and having these powers and not able to protect them. That makes more sense to me. That I would have liked to know earlier. You know what I mean? So then I could see him transforming to become a hero or whatever he was to help out later.
I would agree earlier, but I wouldn't agree at the very beginning.
Okay.
I would say earlier, but not because I enjoyed the reveal of this is how he got his powers.
Maybe somewhere earlier than where it was.
Yeah. I want to know more about how he what changed, because the family is likable, but it didn't feel like it was enough to warrant I'm gonna go ahead and just be.
I get what you're saying. It's almost like you're like, okay. You don't like it. Black Adam didn't make the decision to come out and help himself. Fade had to come and talk to him and to open up the thing. You know what I mean? And I would have liked it if he had just made the decision himself to come and help. Or I don't know. I know what you're talking about. It's like, how did he really within himself arrive at that decision? I wasn't convinced fully.
Yeah,
it seemed like Fade just got to him and broke him out or whatever. I don't know. I don't know.
And I wouldn't have even had as much of, you know what? I actually don't have as much of a problem with the Fate thing, the Dr. Fate thing, because, the whole purpose of that thing was to contain him. He knew he would have needed some assistance getting out. And I can appreciate the fact that he, decided to use the word to say Shazam to
take himself out, yeah.
But I think it didn't maybe have the full gravitas that was needed. This dude had to be you know what? I mean, he did hurt the boy, but he knew the entire time that he had caused all of the destruction and stuff in the past. So
and he didn't mind killing folks. He was doing a lot.
Yeah, and he was just
funny in the
out
beginning,
of control.
But then after a while, I was like, well, you need to chill out. Even them, it was so much back and forth about how many times we have to save people that you just keep throwing people are slingshots. You just just dropping
that
them.
Was funny. I was
even
enjoying. I actually enjoyed that.
That's what I'm saying. It was funny in the beginning, but then it's just okay, when are you gonna stop? Because they're we're tired of fishing the people. You running for the people. We're like a dog where you're playing fetch. He was here, fetch a person, because I'm trying to just get rid of them. I don't care.
Yeah, but it's really hard to pinpoint exactly. I just know that it didn't.
I think for somebody like me, I don't know who the Justice Society is. So in my case, I have no idea what to think about this group. And I'm like, why are you here? So to me, it was kind of hypocrisy that they were coming there. They were just coming there to contain something. And I'm like, you guys say you stand for justice. Injustice was happening right there in their face in the country, and they didn't do nothing about it. And then that's why Adriana had to get on them, because she was like, you guys have been... we have been under this kind of issues for 20-something years. None of y'all came to help within that time. Why are you trying to take away the one person that's here who could maybe help us? So I was like, yeah, she got on them. And
that
they
was
had
some
nothing
hypocrisy.
To say. And that's what I had a problem with. They had nothing
a problem
to say.
with that as well.
And at the end of the day, it's still they weren't really trying to help. That group, the terrorist group or whatever they were, the group that was oppressing them is still there. Nothing was done about that issue.
But I can also understand, because the Justice Society, I assume it's the Justice Society of America.
Is that different from the Justice League?
I don't know. I know it's different from the Justice League, but my thing is, it's an American thing, so it's there's a point where it's you don't want to stick your nose into a certain point.
For America?
But at the same time, if you're gonna stick your nose in, then stick it all the way in. Don't be all hypocritical
come in and
be
extract. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's if you're gonna come in, then you finish the job and finish helping out.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They came under the guise of justice and peacekeeping and all that kind of stuff, but they ignored the real peacekeeping and justice that need to be served. And I was like, this other thing was not even none of your business. The people brought that thing forward. You should let the people figure out what they're going to do with it. You know what I mean? So it's they didn't even let
the people do. With
Adriana brought him out, brought Black Adam out, discovered him, right? And I was like, this is going on in their country. They should at least let it was like they interrupted that whole thing. It's like I felt like she would have tried to figure out, or she was trying to like, what are we doing here? But the Justice Society just came in and was like, bam, bam, we're going to take him. And they didn't even let them figure out what they wanted to do with Black Adam.
But I can understand...
Or Teth Adam, as he was called.
From a certain point, why they showed up then, because I guess he's like, oh, extinction level is a vent. Because he's essentially like a weapon of mass destruction, and nobody could take him on.
That's true. He was.
So from that,
he did, that whole opening sequence, he did blow up everybody. Okay, I forgot.
So like from that standpoint, yes,
he was on the radar.
I understand. But from the standpoint, don't be asking no people, ma'am, let me see what's in your bag. You have no authority here. Who are you?
Right,
you aren't Interpol.
I don't know what would have helped this film be better. I really wanted it to be great. It looked like it was going to be great. It just wasn't the best. Like, it's not bad, but it's not the best. And I'm like, I just feel like at the end of the day, if somebody's like, let's watch Black Adam again, I'd be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's how I would feel.
I wanted more attention paid to what influenced the transformation. Mm-hmm. Because there was a transformation, but it didn't feel quite earned. Mm-hmm. Like, right. There's certain characters and like now granted, this is a bad example just because it happened over multiple movies, like Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Definite transformation. But of course that was many movies. But you could see change in the first movie.
Yeah.
And you understood why.
Stakes were there.
Yeah. You understood why he was changing. I didn't understand quite why Black Adam was changing, because I'm like, these elements are still here. So what is tipping him to be like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say the word. I'm like, what's different now? I wanted to understand that to buy in more.
Yeah, me too. Because I was just like, I felt like I was just watching, spectating. And I wasn't like, I was like, oh yeah, nothing was drawing me. Like, I hate to say this, but I don't hate to say it. But with Woman King, it's like I was sucked. I know it's a whole different film, but just to talk about with films in general, even with Hocus Pocus 1, there's something that draws you in from the beginning and sustains your attention. Even like how we talk with House of Dragon, there's something going right that sustains your attention. But with me, I was like, with Black Adam, I was just at certain scenes, especially the too many fighting scenes that were happening, I was just like, okay, this could move on a little bit more. You know what I mean? And I was like, why am I caring about this? I was caring about characters in these other films, other series more. Like, I was attached. I could get it. I could understand. I could, I only had questions about, what will happen next? But here, I was just like, why are we doing this? You know what I mean? When I have to ask why, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I think. When they're supposed to show you, you're just supposed to be watching. But when in my mind, I'm like, why are they doing this in the film? I hate when I'm taken out and I'm in my mind about this.
Yeah.
And I don't think that something is essentially wrong with the work when it's like that. You know what I mean? And I felt like that with Hocus Pocus 2 too. In my mind, I was watching these things and I was like, why are they doing this? In my mind. So for things that are just like not great, you're just like, something is the cause, and I'm not sure what it is.
Something's not quite right.
Something's missing, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't know. But I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted to be like, oh my God, finally DC got something right, outside of Wonder Woman, because I love both. DC got something right, but I was like,
maybe we should do some mini-series on the stuff that we didn't like quite as much and try to workshop it.
Maybe.
Oh, that would be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
But then I have to watch crap I didn't like.
I mean, not like really, really, really bad stuff, but stuff that's like, it's just something like this. Like Black Adam, it's like, it could work better.
It's not a bad film.
It needs some tweaks. It needs some workshopping. It's not like a dumpster fire. It just needs something.
It's not a dumpster fire. It just needs, I think it needs reorganization. Reorganization, and then maybe
some filling out.
Justice Society should have came into a previous film somewhere. I don't know why, but to me, I was like, these little ragtag group. I would have liked if it was only one person came after him. Maybe just Hawkeye. Maybe it was just Hawkman came after him, and that's it. But just because I was like, this whole little ragtag group, I was like, who are these people? That's what I kept saying. I was like, who are they? Did they come out of somewhere? And I'm just like, okay, some random people y'all came to I don't know. I felt like in an origin story film, you don't see all these people first. Like, you look at Iron Man and each of their origin movies, it's just really them. So having these other heroes there all the time, I was like, what? Who are they? You know what I mean? I'm just thinking about the Captain America, Thor, all the origin, Ant-Man, all of them. It's like one person. It's just about that one superhero first, and you're learning what's going on with them. Then you have the Avengers and all the other people coming in slowly. Then you could be like, oh, okay, I get why I'm caring about. Because I was like, the whole time, I'm like, what is this group of people?
I understand what you're saying. I don't think they needed to leave them out or I mean, they probably wanted to like introduce them so they can have their own movie later. And I think it could be fine. It wasn't, but it could have been even with introducing them.
See, you're right, because the team things work well. Like, look at heist movies. But then you got to set it up first, the situation. You know what I mean? I don't know. Something was missing in the setup.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, this guy, we're going to just come and grab him.
Because to be honest, I liked them. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I like this.
I have no problem with the group. It's just it's the
just
function of them in the film. And I'm like, I don't care. I didn't know why I should care about these people. I ended up liking them at the end of the day. But it was like example, Fade died at the end of the film. And I felt nothing. I was like, oh, well, Fade's gone.
Yeah.
I felt nothing.
Right.
And they wanted to do it and they were like, I saw the end. I saw nothing, and it was beautiful. And I was like, really?
Okay.
That was kind of cheesy to me.
I know, you're just kind of like, okay.
That was supposed to be great, and I just didn't think it was.
And then when, like, Hawkman is, like, emoting. And I'm like, I'm not feeling it, dude.
Thank you, I'm saying. I was like, I'm not feeling it. Like, I was just like, oh, your friend died. I'm sorry for you. I'm not feeling it. But when Ngozi died, no, not Ngozi. Izogi. When Izogi died,
I was heartbroken.
Oh my gosh! When Izogi died in Woman King, I was like, damn. And then that girl, and now we cried. I wanted to cry with them, and that's the difference.
Yes,
because Izogi was introduced to us in the beginning too, but Fade was there, and I'm like, I don't know why I should care about you, Fade. I'm like, you died, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry for you. That's it. That's how I felt. Like, I felt bad, but I was just like, I don't feel anything for these characters.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not gonna lie, I felt like the two little underlings, they were cute, but I was like, they were kind of not.
You mean Cyclone and Atom Smasher?
Yeah, they were just like, okay.
Yeah, they were cute.
That's it. They were cute, but I'm like,
oh,
you could have done without them or not.
Going on? Is there something going on there? But it's
you just come in and like, you stopped a building from falling. I don't know what else. Like, I just was like, they could have been utilized better in some other way or introduced. I don't know what it is, but that's what I'm going to say. Let's get to the ratings because I'm sorry, Rob, but the Black Adam, as much as it was your passion project, y'all should have screened that mess for some people. And then maybe, I don't know if it was the story or not. I felt like they put work into the story, but it lacked focus. They were trying to do too much.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think some reorganization would have been better. And I think filling out certain parts as far as characterization would have helped it as well.
Exactly. I think so. Like, they needed to work on Black Adam's character more and his motivations and all this. I feel like they needed to do some of these, like, writing exercises first. Like, what's this about? What are we doing here? Like, just think about those things more.
I just thought of something. Dr. Fate, who, like, died. It's like, if you
Is it Fate or Fade? I thought it was Fade.
I think it's Fate. Let me look, because I have it up.
His costume was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
And I loved his hat. His helmet. His hat. That's actually that's diminutive. But I meant.
But I think if you're going to kill off a character, exactly like you said with the Woman King, you want the audience to care more about them first. And he didn't have enough of a role for you
being a knockoff Doctor Strange.
Because I think like it might have been fine if they left the role of like Hawkman and Cyclone and Atom Smasher as it was. But I think they probably in that case would have needed to give Dr. Fate a bigger role just so you cared by the time he was gone. Because these other characters, we have other movies to get to know them more. You like them more. But since this was his only one, you needed him to be in there more in order for us to care about him when he actually died.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was telling Whitney in the movie theater, like Atom Smasher, every time I saw him I was like, this is Ant-Man / Deadpool.
Yeah.
Because he was, to me he kind of acted like Spider-Man, how he was behaving, but then he, like, honestly, he was like Ant-Man the most.
Yeah, he was.
So I was like, oh, this is Ant-Man.
But then the mask looks exactly like this.
And then the
Dr. Fate was like,
I was like, oh, Doctor Strange.
Straight up. I was like, is there a cease and desist coming?
I was like, this is exactly what Doctor Strange does. Exactly. Okay, let's do the review so we can get on out of here.
All right.
All right, so I'm going to give the film, I'm going to give it a 7, honestly. I was going to do up a point, but I'm going to give it a 7.
Now we are in agreement because I'm also giving it 7 glasses.
Yeah, I was going to do 0.5, but I was like, nah.
I was like, nah, it didn't quite reach that. I mean,
I'm good. I don't need to watch it again.
The storyline with his son and how he got his powers actually knocked it up because I might have been tempted to do like 6.5.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, they brought a little bit more story and characterization with that. So I'll give it a 7.
7 glasses. So ultimately, you guys go and watch Black Adam and see for yourself.
It's an entertaining movie.
You can watch it. It's a one-time watch for me. Like, it's a one-time watch for me. It's like not one I would be excited to watch and look at again. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've gone through the old, like the Phase 3, Phase 4, Marvel over again and enjoyed them. But Black Adam, honestly, there's no film in the DC universe that I would watch again except for Wonder Woman. So I don't know what it is with them. I hope they can get it together.
Yeah,
I think they were really putting all their hopes on the Rock being able to fix and resurrect this stuff and all that stuff, and then even the ending scene with them bringing Superman back because they apparently weren't going to use that actor, but they brought him back, and the Rock was influential in bringing him back. So maybe something else will come up later on with them. Yeah, but they got to fix the story.
I will say something about DC. Like, their television game is actually good.
That's it. See, but somebody else is doing
I'm talking about
TV,
HBO Max though. I'm talking like
and I'm talking about CW,
the Suicide Squads, Peacemaker, Doom Patrol, Titans. I was about to say Teen Titans, but that's like the comic book name. The show name is Titans. Like, those are actually really good. I really enjoy them.
And the CW ones are good too. The Flash is still on, still amazing. The Arrow and the DC Legends of Tomorrow, all those were like really, really good.
Yeah, it's just
some of them have ended. I don't know what it is. It's they call this the DCEU, so it's like it's just this rendition of it. It's not hitting.
Yeah, so, maybe they should try to bring in some of the writers from the shows.
Maybe,
but then again, show is different because you have more time for characterization and plot and stuff.
But
so
I
don't
think
know if
about
that would
it
work.
more. I don't know what it is. Like they could do better with a TV show. I don't know because the episode still has to be one from the beginning, unless there's like a 2-parter and stuff. I don't know what it is, but they need some work. I don't know.
Yeah.
I felt bad because it was like The Rock. Everyone was like hoping The Rock could like really bring it. And I mean, he brought his best self.
But I mean, he's not a writer.
Yeah, the writing and the storytelling is just not the best for me. It was like this was like graphics heavy, and I was like, you can't let all the
beautiful graphics.
You can't let all the fighting and the graphics tell the story for you. You know what I mean? Something else has to give. And it was missing in this. So y'all watch it. Let us know what you guys think. And that's our opinion. You know, y'all can disagree. If you loved it so hard, as Whitney says, she welcomes a challenge and a debate. So hit up our Instagram, our TikTok, everything. You know, we're all over the social medias.
Shoot an email, y'all.
And don't forget to, visit our splash page and sign up for our newsletter.
Yeah,
right,
that's
all right, y'all. So we're going to blur it out and get on to the get gone. And rewatch House of the Dragon. All right, y'all. Bye. Have a good one.
Bye.
Be safe in Halloween, y'all. Be safe.
Yes, happy Halloween.
All right. Whitney, y'all has like a Halloween themed like doorbell. Like, it's so crazy. I just think it's hilarious. So, okay. Blur it out, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Please subscribe to our show on whatever podcast listening app you use and share the show with other Blerds and non-Blerd family and friends. And if you like our episode, please rate and review us on iTunes.
The intro and outro music is Twilight by Caption. You can find them on SoundCloud, username Caption, spelled CAPSHUN. The show notes are by Bola, Hanson, and the audio engineering is by Whitney Booker.
And you can contact us by email at blerdtalkbw@gmail.com. And also, don't forget to get social, you guys. You can find us on our social media at Instagram and Twitter, with our @handle being at BlerdTalkBW. And we've got our individual things going on too, y'all. So you can find me, your Blerd Fashionista, on Instagram and Twitter at BolaStoryB. That's B with 2 E's like the insect. And I've got my own personal YouTube channel, just Bola Sade. That's BOLASHADE. D as in dog, E as in elephant.
And this is Whitney. You can find me at my company, Luminavi Studios. The email address is wit@luminavi.com. That's WHIT@LUMENAVI.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Luminavi Studios.